What you do? How we doing, everybody? What's up, my man?
My man, we good.
We good, we good. We're looking good. The audience, we just want to welcome y'all again. We're here. Let's gather
We
around
back.
Truth. Truth podcast is back on. How we all feeling? How we doing on this third? This is our third episode now.
Man,
It's
we going good, man. We good, we
looking
good,
good.
we good.
Everything taking form now. As you can even see, I think we all looking a little more relaxed, a little more not as stiff as we was in the first few. So we getting better as we go and
Yes,
more
sir.
informed and more everything. So right, let's just go ahead and jump into it. It's gonna be a pretty short but to the point topic today. We want to talk about authority. Just looking around ourselves, looking around the communities now. I think it's just a lot of guilt going around, a lot of anger, resentment, a lot of fear, a lot of just seeking approval, and a lot of just materialism, like just chasing possessions
Yes, sir.
and stuff like that. And all this, I just want to like connect it around the topic of authority. Is I believe I believe all this result. I mean, coming as a result of a faulty authority, of an authority that's not really dependable. You know, let's give for example quickly a father in a family that's an authoritative figure there. So if you have a father say that's an alcoholic, just uh, uh, not a father that's a good example to follow. For instance, a father that's abusive, that probably hits the mom in front of the kids. So this is a person that the kids are probably looking up to. You know, they're watching him, and when they grow up and have their own homes, families, this these are almost the same things that they will replicate that in their own homes, and so it becomes like a nasty thing that keeps getting carried on from generation to generation. And this is not what we want for kids. Obviously, we want our kids to have a better future, and so that starts today. Like, what are we setting up for them? What kind of examples are we showing them? What type of things are they seeing on the screen, on TV? You know, because they will replicate those things, and those
Yes, sir.
things come from the top. You see, they always trickle down from the top. Their authorities, to
Yep.
those people that we look up to.
Yes,
So this is
sir.
just a call. It's a call, a wake up call to those people in their authoritative positions to probably return to go back to the values that are that are acceptable. You know, let's start practicing these values that are acceptable in the community that makes us stronger and grow in the right direction. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. So,
What do you think about that?
you have a good point. In this day and age, things are kind of changing. Like once again, authority. This is a very strong. Um, it's a heavy topic.
Right.
It's a topic that actually has a lot of detail in it.
It can
As we
go
speak
very
about.
many different ways.
There's so many ways you can talk about this, but my personal definition. Anytime you think about authority, oh, excuse me, anytime you think about authority, you think of someone with power. Someone who enforces rules.
Yes.
Someone who wants to enforce decision, commands, and influence other actions. Like my man was saying, we have people in our lives that we look up to. You have mentors, you have your parents, you have your celebrities. Nah, I don't know. Some people adore celebrities and
Oh
others
yeah.
worship them, but
Oh
either way,
yeah.
they're still human beings. But
Mhm.
people with authority. So what they do is, we follow some of their characteristics and actually blend down and sit down to actually reimagine ourselves and be like them. The
Right.
one thing, the one thing with that is, as you gave an example of a family, A man's place, society has shown us, is, a man is the head of the house.
Hmm.
The head of the house is one who sits at a table and commands and brings directions and peace and everything to the house. So with that, you have a status, but when it becomes overused to a certain position, a certain power and prowess, it kind of makes it becomes a negative kind of connotation in that the kids will begin to see dad's characteristics and flaws that they start to believe in. For example, one, if dad is coming home and just being, oh, whooping the kids just
Mm.
randomly, or is a drunk and just comes in and just demands or just becomes very domestic violent just to the wife and everything. With time, any kid who grows in such an environment will eventually start adapting some of these characteristics,
It's gonna
which
start
is
looking like it's the right way of life. You know, the
exactly.
kid, yeah.
You can't. So, as we actually sit down here, as we conversate right now, we're trying to figure out, there's so many ways, this definition of authority can go with. There's the positive and there's the negative. But at the same time, we're trying to focus not only on men, but we're focusing on society as well. But mostly, we want to really break it down into how men, we as people handle this characteristic as we move forward.
But you know
So,
what? I just want to jump in there quickly and say, you are also in a position of authority. Like you being a registered nurse, uh,
yep,
you're an authority figure because you decide the outcome of your patient's health.
true.
So, forgive, for example, if you're a bad authoritative figure, if you're let's say your upbringing was not the
Mhm,
best. Let's
mhm.
say you experienced that from your father. Just throwing it out there. Let's say your father was like the description we just gave. So now you have some a set of beliefs in you that being in that position, this is how you're supposed to act. And even if somebody probably called you out, you would even give an explanation as to why you think this is correct. Like, hey, I saw
Yeah,
my father used to do this, so I can do that too. You
exactly.
know, and but then if you like if you go deep under because people that just don't change their action. They just don't change it for nothing. You have to you have to speak on their beliefs. Like you have to dig deeper and go beyond behind that action and see what kind of beliefs, what kind of upbringing this person had, what kind of values, because we act, we produce. I mean, our actions come from the values that we've been taught. So
Yep.
if you value the life of your patients, for instance, you will do everything correct. You will do. Let's say
Yes.
you gotta do your 2 hour checks. You will make sure every 2 hours you can check your patient.
Yes.
Instead of probably opting to do something else and say I'm just gonna do a 3 hour check. 3 hours not that bad. But hey, what does the rule say? The rules say you gotta do it every 2 hours. But I see so much of today in our communities, people want to question the authority so much, and we're coming to that also because there's there's a mistrust uh, to our authorities. For instance, the police. We don't trust
Right.
the police anymore, and it's
Right.
for the reason of the things. I mean, they do not. For instance, you're a person that's it's an authoritative position. You're supposed to serve and protect, but that's not what we're seeing on the media today.
Yep.
Uh, the people that are in authority, they're the ones that are actually misguiding people. They're displaying values that are not really acceptable within the community, and so our children are growing up seeing all these things, and in their minds they're probably thinking this is how we're
It's
supposed
supposed
to
to
be,
be. Yes,
but
sir.
it's obviously so much so against. If you're a conscious person, you know when you're doing wrong, and we are spiritual beings, by the way.
Yes, sir.
We are spiritual beings. We're having a physical experience, even though we really are spiritual. We are spirits, and so therefore, who's our authoritative spiritual figure? I'll, I'll just go out on a limb and just say, I mean, for me, it is God. And so therefore, I get my values, I get my being from Him.
Yes, sir.
You know what I
I
mean?
think I think yeah, and like you said, we follow and we trust the police, we trust a lot of things, people, as you grow, people are professionals, let's just say professionals, we trust them and expect them to actually give us guidance through a lot of things. And give an example for the police, and like there's communities out here, most people, it's hard for them. It's so hard for them. Look at like all this thing, like you said, on TV, look, George Floyd thing, ever after that George Floyd thing, it's so hard for people to actually have a
Capital.
conversation with any police officer, because the
Yeah.
first thing that comes to your mind is you're thinking like the knee thing, and
Hmm.
you don't want that to be. And guess what happens?
That picture is
The
burned in our
it's
brain.
it's in our brain. It's an imprint forever. So every time you see people walking around, when cops come out, what's the first thing nowadays people do? You pull up your phones,
Click. Yeah, yeah.
phones. They're taking phones, like, yeah,
That's right. Yeah,
the phone thing, because you're trying to protect yourself.
that's
Why
right.
is that? Why is that? Because that trust has been lost.
True.
That inner sanctuary of, hey, how you doing? No, it's lost because there's so much beyond just the trust. There's also stories about all this racism and da 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 da. Da. There's so much history behind that that has led up to that point. But the point I'm trying to make is, like, how can we change this? How can we mend our minds to a point whereby you feel some sense of I don't want to say peace every time. I want to say a sense of humbleness, because at the end of the day, we're all vulnerable. We're
True.
all vulnerable. You know, we all have our issues where we sit and just, you know, we have questions. We question ourselves sometimes. But what can we do? I feel like, the best way for some of these things is, you know, for group interactions. Some of those group interactions are actually really, really important. You know, sitting down with authoritative figures, sitting down with individuals that can create a better communication. Let me know how you feel. I'll let you know how I feel.
Right.
If we can come to a common ground, I think there's a better dialogue right there. Right there, you guys can sit down. Let's figure something out. You know, what other ways can we do? I think mentoring is a very, very also very important thing, because as we grow up, not you don't have to be in that negative limelight that you grew up in case you came from a broken home and an authoritative figure kind of messed your childhood all through adulthood. No, you can break the cycle. You know, start over. If you're that kind of person who wants to grow up in shape and make a change, I think mentoring is just kind of bringing a better change and breaking that cycle to mend things moving forward. My thing
Yeah.
is prayer. Sometimes prayer is the best thing. Prayer also, some people don't want to pray, don't think like there's a higher power. But I'm gonna tell you like this: a higher power exists. A
It is
higher
definitely
power
there.
exists.
It
There
is.
is a higher power. It's how you believe and actually coexist in this world. There's always a higher power. You can't be here without no higher power. That's the one thing I had to find out the hard way too, because I had my doubts in the beginning for a long time. But then after going through issues without any sort of own guidance and me just doing my own thing and doing my own ways, but then I sat down and started praying and realized that, just my inner belief and some of the verses you read from the Bible can actually give you a change in life, man.
Oh yeah. The
Give
word
you
of
a
God
change
is
in
just
life.
powerful, man.
completely change
And
your life, because with that you walk out the door and feel like you have a purpose. Like we spoke about the last time, a purpose is something I'm still seeking, but with time I will find it. I will find it. So at the end of the day, you also have a responsibility on how.
and we are back. Uh, excuse us, forgive us for that. There was a little mishap, technical, but we're back in. Thank you for bearing with
Okay,
us. Thank you
all right.
for continuing to join us, and we're glad that you're here. I'll pick it up from where I had left. The idea we were talking. You had just brought up a really good question, and this is why I love Truth Podcast because we don't just discuss problems. We discuss problems and we come up with the solutions, and we gonna we gonna be good. And so the question that you had asked really is like this: how do we just move on from there? How do we correct this problem? But and you brought up like having mentors and praying. But
Hmm.
on top of that, I wanted to add something. I mean, on top of mentors, let's let's also look at the other authoritative figures of pastors. These people have let us down like tremendously in these last days. Pastors are not trustworthy. It's something of they're out there just to get your money.
Yeah,
They're out there for,
that's the funny thing. I don't know why
yeah.
why why, why people think that, which is, it's a lot of people think that. But yeah, I'm sorry, my man.
I mean, and not just about the money, but also which I've also seen because I've been in church for so long. Some pastors that are they're not concerned about your spiritual well being. They're not concerned about seeing you grow and develop. They're just concerned about your pocket. Like, are you gonna bring your tithing and your offerings? And that's not what it is about. That's not just the main thing. I mean, it's part of it, and we'll get into it. Like, there's a lot that you know that we'll get into. Stick with us. Stick on. I mean, keep truth dial always ready, and
We all here?
we always be getting into it. We always gonna have to bring something good to you. Uh,
All day, man.
yeah,
Got
topics
you.
that really matter. And so, man, there's just too much conventional wisdom that's going on around now. That is that has that's trying to water down biblical principles. But already God already said it. God, I stand on God's word. His kingdom will last forever. It doesn't matter all these costs that are coming up. It doesn't matter. I mean, so many new things that are coming up. There's so religions that are being invented every day. Talking about God is now a woman or God has a wife. I mean, it's too much. I have people come knock on my door talking about Jesus Christ is already back. I mean, there's so much information out there that's unreliable, being dissipated, being distributed by
Distributed around.
people, yeah, people in authority that we're supposed to look up to and trust, but they're distributing the wrong information. Their beliefs and their values are just not ones to rely on anymore. You know, I'm not calling out any pastor in particular. I'm not discouraging people from going to church. I mean,
We're not calling on you. We know who you.
you
We're
know
not
who you
calling
are,
nobody.
but
You do you.
you do you. But
You do you, my man.
there's judgment comes, and there's a God that's watching. You know, there's a God the top, the sovereign authority.
Hell
You
yeah.
know,
This is
the one the Almighty. You know, the one that's sitting on the highest seat, and there's nobody above him. He is the main authority, and he's the one that we look up to for direction in life. You know what I
yes,
mean?
sir. Yes, sir. You know, at the end of the day, it's you and your Lord at the end of it all. You
That's
know,
it. Right.
you will sit and be judged by Him. Here, again, we won't judge you. will just come in and give you a facts. Um, one more thing I wanted to just kind of rush through is, um, in this day in life also, we do have like responsibilities that we actually also have to endure. As men, we have responsibilities that are just dynamic. We just have to, no matter what, we have to sit and actually oblige and just do them no matter what we do. One, paying bills, taking care of your kids, taking care of yours, just pure responsibilities. The one thing I wanted to share with is that, no matter how hard, no matter how rough times are, you know, don't let anyone make you feel some type of way, or make you feel inferior, or make you feel like you're not worth nothing. Because when you sit down and go to bed and walk through your room or your house or go into your car by yourself, you're doing this for you. It's your own decision. You take care of yours. You take care of yours no matter what. You handle yours, because the one thing I see nowadays is, even with our own burdens that we all have a feeling of, no matter what we're doing, we feel like people judge us. People will judge you and make you feel like you're nothing. You know, you know your worth. You know who you are. You
Hmm.
know, when you wake up in the morning, you breathe your own air. You don't breathe for nobody else but yourself.
True.
So, man, and and when I keep saying man, I actually just mean everybody. We all human beings. We all have our own vulnerabilities. We all have our emotions. We have our own spots that, again, we feel that we have to endure and take. But one thing I want to say as well is, the one thing some authoritative figures will make you feel is make you feel like you're not what.
And that's the problem, man. That's my biggest pet peeve, man. I
That
hate that.
that thing bothers me a lot, because
It does.
I see it a lot, and I see it a lot because, it's so hard to actually coach, and especially the person who's being made to feel that unworth. You see that person go through some issues to a point, you're like, God, just guide them, give them a way. There's
Hmm.
always a way. There's always a way. Again, some of these things that lead to all kinds of things like depression,
Yeah.
depreciation in your
A
mental
lot
health.
of mental illnesses.
They bring a lot of strife. They bring a lot of breakage in family dynamics. They bring a lot of domestic violence.
Oh, and
You
we are
know,
coming against that. We're coming down on that
all
hard. I
that
mean,
stuff.
that has got to go.
Those small things are actually some of the things we're trying to speak against. I'm speaking because as a human being, I've seen these things happen. Just know there's always a way you can handle some of these things. And again, I keep going through this thing. Communication. Communication is a very big thing. We hide so much behind ourselves. We
Hmm.
hide so much behind our friends. We want to have this wall and show a character that we're not.
Show this persona. Just create a persona that's
Persona.
non-existent. Why?
Yes.
Just because you want to be accepted. It's
No.
like I said, I'm
No.
tired of it, man. This gotta stop.
No. It has
This
to.
gotta stop.
It got to
They
stop,
we
man.
and thank God that God has given us this platform. That for instance, that makes us a figure of authority too, because we have
Exactly.
people sitting home, maybe driving, listening to what we say. We want to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that we're not just polluting your mind. We're not just
No.
talking rubbish. We're not just here just to spit, trying to go viral or something like that. We're
You
here
know,
because we try to we mean well for you. We're here because we care for your uh, spiritual growth. We care for your we care
mental.
for your your especially that we care for that. There's so much that's going on that's that's making that impossible. But like I said, thank God for truth. Podcast. We're here because we want to make sure that your lives get back to where they were meant to be.
Yes, sir. Guys, it's
It,
been a pleasure. Let us know, man.
let us know. We need you guys to
Let us know.
contribute. Listen, send us messages. Let us know where you guys stand on this topic and how to move forward. I'm sorry. Let me just rush this up real quick. That
Go
I
ahead,
wanted
brother.
to like as part of the solution that I was thinking. I mean, there's a whole lot. The list is just endless, uh, and that's why we ask you to stick it in, stay here. We're gonna learn so much. We got so much information. We got so much to bring to you. At the end of it all, we just want the life that you were meant to live for you to be able to manifest that. Like we've been able to manifest it. We know the way. We know how to. We can lead and guide you to finding your own purpose. Because I'm telling you this, one thing that will give your life meaning. Without purpose, life becomes trivial, pointless. It's just petty. And so, but
Yes, sir.
a life with meaning can bear anything, man. I'm telling you right now.
Amen.
I got so much confidence. I, I just know that I'm where I'm supposed to be, and I'm good, and
Good.
I'm good, and I'm gonna be good
Absolutely.
because as long as God is good, I'm good. You know,
Absolutely.
He's my source. He's my authority. He's my leader. He's my guide. He needs to be everything to you. He's got to be your. If you didn't have an exemplary father, the God the Father is there for you. Oh, how do I know? How do I talk to him? The Bible is there. The Word of God is here with us, physical. I mean, we can touch it. We can see the words. We can speak. And the Holy Spirit, He has placed Him in your heart. He should be your your point of
Guide,
reference
guidance, reference.
on anything. I'm telling you, I didn't know this myself, but I'm finding out, and I'm telling you that it's possible. Go ahead, go out there and experience it for yourself. You know, God is an individual God as much as He's a community God. He's our God. He's our Father. But let me tell you, this is what life is a test. Life is a trust.
Sure is.
Life is an assignment. It isn't nothing that it's none of that whatever that we not of that conventional wisdom that they might. It's not about chasing fame. It's not about becoming getting a viral video. It's not about possessions. It's none of that. It's not about let me get the next. It, I'm not calling anything against having that. You can have a big house and a good car and whatever else material stuff that you want. But life ain't about all that. First it's a you got character building. God don't care about what car you drive. He cares about your character. He wants to see your character. He don't want to see you being in an authoritative position and taking advantage of the people. Those are God's people. God, even listen for me. I got kids. These kids, they're not my kids. These kids are God's kids. He's giving them to me as a trust, as a test. You know, if to watch me. How am I bringing them up? What kind of values? What am I teaching them? Am I misleading them? Am I just giving them garbage? Am I bringing them up in the ways that they're supposed to be brought up? Am I taking advantage of them? Am I oppressing them? You can't be oppressing your people. It don't matter who you are. You're a president. You can't be oppressing your people. You can't be trying to make it oppressing your people. You're not trying to come up. You know, through using other people, energies and resources. It it is completely uncouth. I hate it. It needs to stop. It's
Yes.
gonna stop because people need to be educated. People need to be encouraged. People need to be they need education
Big
and
time.
stay here. Stay here. You
Big
will
time.
be educated. You will be encouraged. You will be empowered. You need to be empowered. You need to know. You need to know your power. You need to know uh,
Value,
your
your
values,
role,
especially your
everything.
your beliefs need to be clear to you. You need to know what
Yes.
are your beliefs, and Place
Talk
a
about it.
higher premium. Place a higher premium on relationships
Love that. I love it.
and your character building.
Yes,
So
sir.
not fame, not wealth, not possessions, not achievements, fun. All those are good,
Happiness.
but hey, drop that. Come back to where come back to the first love. Come back to where it all started. And people, you shall see life. Man, I can tell you, man, my life is beautiful right now. Oh, I love it. I love to sleep and wake up to another day, man.
I know
And
that
that's what I
feeling.
want everybody to experience that.
That's the same thing I've been saying. I love this guy because he makes me feel the same way. That same energy is the energy this place will bless you with. Because
That's
at the end
right.
of the day, it all comes down to, do you want to listen to us and understand what we're actually giving you?
That's
Or
right.
do you just want to live it the way you want to live and feel how you want to feel and go by your own principle, which is okay. Hey, I won't judge you.
Oh,
You
nobody
know,
judging.
all we're doing is just speaking to you just as you'd speak to us and you'd listen. And we
Yes,
take
sir.
time to actually sit down and be like, okay, we're giving you the time. At the end
Yes,
of the
sir.
day, again, we love you. Welcome. Hit that dial. Come listen to us. Want to appreciate you guys for actually taking the time to sit down and understand what we're actually bringing to the table. You know, every
Like,
day,
share, subscribe, people.
welcome,
Let's
welcome,
grow this
welcome,
community.
welcome.
I don't even know how many subscribers we got out there, but
I'm
hey,
not paying
tell
attention.
somebody and let somebody tell somebody, and and it ain't just about let's gain the numbers. I don't care about the numbers. It's
Nope.
let this message get out there, let everybody know, because this message is coming to release you from your bondage, whatever you are. It's coming because, and again, I don't know that we've shared our mission to the people, but it's part of a mission to bring freedom. We want people to be free. We want you to be to have the freedom to do all that the God purposed for you. I'm not talking
Yes,
about
sir.
how freedom. I'm not talking about how freedom to go have 10 women. I'm not talking about
Nah,
how freedom
not none of that.
to mistreat others. No, no. I'm talking
No.
about having freedom
Yeah,
to
if you
do
do,
good, the
yeah,
right thing.
just if you do none of that, if you do any of that, just don't tell
No,
none
that's
of
not
that.
what we are about. No,
We
that's not
we we
true.
we we, we didn't tell you none of that. We even have the video. Just saying.
That's
But you
right.
know,
No, we
again,
do not endorse that.
nope,
No, we don't endorse that. All right.
no. All right, this is
So
us
we're wrapping
signing
up.
out. This is us signing out. Tony.
Pat.